Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. I'm Nhung from Noi, and now the headlines as usual.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh starts official visit to Luxembourg. US paper, macroeconomic outlook of Vietnam bright. Vietnam wins 3 golds at International Circus Festival.
President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc expressed his hope for closer and more effective cooperation between the Supreme People's Court of Vietnam and the Supreme Court of Korea, while receiving Minister of the National Court Administration of the Republic of Korea, Kim Song-won, in Hanoi on December 9th.
President Phúc lauded the 2 Supreme Courts for their contributions to cooperation between the 2 countries since the establishment of diplomatic ties 30 years ago. Through the Korea's International Cooperation Agency, the courts have carried out many projects since 2008, under which the Republic of Korea has helped Vietnam build legal documents and teaching plans and programs in this field. It also provided support in information technology and shared experience in judicial training, he said. For his part, Kim rejoiced at the cooperation outcomes between the 2 Supreme Courts over the past time, as well as the upgrade of the Vietnam-ROK relationships to a comprehensive strategic partnership during President Phúc freshly ended state visits to the ROK. He said he viewed this as a foundation and an impulse for the courts to enhance their cooperation in the time ahead, helping to tighten the bilateral judicial ties.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh and a high-ranking delegation of Vietnam arrived at Luxembourg on December 9th, starting an official visit to the European country at the invitation of Prime Minister Xavier Bettel.
Prime Minister of Luxembourg Xavier Bettel hosted an official welcome ceremony for Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh on December 9th, in the capital city of Luxembourg. This is the first official visit to Luxembourg by the Vietnamese leader. The visit takes place at a time when the bilateral relations are flourishing after nearly 5 decades of diplomatic ties, especially in investment and development. Having invested $2.6 billion in Vietnam, Luxembourg is the 3rd largest EU investor in the Southeast Asian nation and also one of the EU countries that have ratified the EU-Vietnam Investment Protection Agreement early. The Vietnamese Prime Minister's trip is expected to further intensify the friendship and cooperation with Luxembourg, and expand cooperation in the fields where each country has strengths and Vietnam has demands such as pharmaceutical technology and logistics.
The Điện Biên Phủ in the air, a major victory leading to the end of the war against US forces 50 years ago, was spotlighted at the National Symposium in Hanoi on December 9th.
In late December 1972, the Vietnamese army and people resiliently fought against the US airstrikes with B-52 bomber, the most modern aircraft of the time, for 12 days and nights, creating the resounding Dien Bien Phu in the air victory. The Vietnamese army and people shot down 81 aircraft of all kinds. Hanoi forces alone shot down 23 B-52 strategic bombers and captured 43 pilots. In his remarks, General Yuan Kuong, chairman of the General Department of Politics under the Vietnam People's Army, said the victory had forced the US to halt bombings in Vietnam and sign the Paris Peace Accords, an agreement on ending the war and restoring peace in Vietnam, and withdraw troops out of the Southeast Asian nation. The participants highlighted the unique and creative tactics employed by Vietnam in the campaign, the significance of the victory, along with new issues emerging during the cause of national construction and defense.
The macroeconomic outlook of Vietnam is bright, as the country has witnessed strong domestic consumption, received foreign direct investments, and maintained a surplus in trade balance with other countries, with a real GDP growth forecast to exceed 8% in 2022, wrote an article recently published on the US seekinginfo.com.
According to the article, in a time when other major world economies are curtailing fiscal and monetary policy support in an effort to contain inflation, Vietnam is in a position to support its growth. Vietnam's currency and interest rates also appear relatively stable compared to other countries. A sharp recovery in personal consumption, along with strong export growth, contributed to the country's impressive Q3 GDP growth of nearly 14%. Vietnam's strong macroeconomic position is expected to lift its population out of poverty, as more than half of the Vietnamese population is projected to join the global middle class by 2035. The article also noted, the country has been able to remain attractive to foreign investors, and received foreign direct investment net inflows totaling over $15 billion in 2021, or 4.2% of GDP, up from 3.2% of GDP in 2013.
Bình Dương province, one of industrial hubs in the southern Vietnam, has so far this year attracted more than $3 billion in foreign direct investment, taking the lead in the southeast region.
Bình Dương has estimated its gross regional domestic product growth at 8% and gross regional domestic product per capita at $7,100 this year. The locality's index of industrial production is expected to expand 8.9%, while its total retail sales of goods and services increased by nearly 17%. Bình Dương total import and export turnover hit nearly $61.5 billion, of which export reached about $36 billion, up 9% year-on-year, resulting in a trade surplus of $10 billion. Meanwhile, the province's total social investment capital reached over $6.4 billion, up roughly 13% year-on-year. This year, the Southern Industrial Hub has fulfilled 29 out of the 34 socio-economic development targets.
A fashion show with the theme Vietnamese Áo dài meets Thai silk took place recently in Bangkok, Thailand, leaving good impression among visitors. The show was organized by Vietnam's embassy in Thailand, the Association of Thai Silk Promotion, and the Association of Thai Culture and Promotion. It came within the framework of the 3rd Thai Silk International Fashion Week that runs from December 6 to 12. The show was expected to bring new value to the Vietnamese traditional long dress, so that it will be not only an iconic cultural value of Vietnam, but also a Vietnamese tourism ambassador to Thai people. The 3rd Thai Silk International Fashion Week aims at promoting Thai silk and creates opportunities to strengthen cooperation and cultural exchanges between Thailand and other countries, especially in the fields of art, fashion, and textiles. More than 100 Thai and international designers participating in designing costumes with Thai silk. The event expects to attract designers from 60 countries and about 10,000 visitors. Vietnamese circus performers picked up 3 gold medals in the week of competition at the International Circus Festival 2022 in Hanoi.
The 3 gold medals went to performers from the Vietnam Circus Federation, the Vietnam Circus Arts and Intermediate School, and the Phương Nam Art Theatre. The International Circus Festival is held every 3 years, aiming to promote cooperation in culture and arts between Vietnam and other countries. This year's festival attracted 9 circus troupes from Vietnam and abroad showcasing their skills.
The festival is amazing organization, and I want to thank to the director, manager, and all the people in this circus on this festival, especially the Vietnamese artists. They were amazing.
According to the festival's juggling panel, the quality of this year's competition improved, with the participation of many new young performers.
A gold medal is a deserved result for our efforts over the past 2 years. We are so happy and moved to win gold.
The International Circus Festival 2022 presented 3 gold, 8 silver, and 3 bronze medals, as well as certificates of merit to participating troops. The next festival is scheduled for 2025.
A space introducing archaeological artifacts unearthed at Thăng Long Imperial Citadel in Hanoi has opened recently in the ancient city province in France, Ile-de-France region.
Visitors to the exhibition, which will be open until the end of December 2023, can learn about the citadel through panels presented in French, English, and Vietnamese, and from leaflets, books, and souvenirs. In particular, a video on the exceptional values of the Thăng Long Imperial Citadel will help them gain a general overview of the ancient city of Hanoi.
It's an interesting exhibition, with the space introducing archaeological artifacts creating a sacred feeling.
The Thăng Long Imperial City and the City of Province share certain similarities. Both have been honored by UNESCO for the inestimable value they represent for all of humanity.
Showcasing images of Thăng Long Imperial Citadel in Provence not only represents a meeting of 2 World Heritage Sites, but is also an exemplary model of cooperation between the 2 localities in the field of culture and heritage. The exhibition of Sanyayur Monastery is part of cooperation between the Thăng Long Hanoi Heritage Conservation Center and the City of Provence, making 10 years and 20 years respectively, since the Thăng Long Imperial Citadel and the medieval City of Provence were recognized as World Heritage Sites by UNESCO.
Vietnam's cultural heritage is a valuable asset for the country and forms part of its human cultural heritage. Promoting heritage tourism through art and cultural activities is believed to represent an effective and sustainable means of tourism development.
Communities and localities working in relic preservation recognize the economic value of attracting tourists. Researchers have said that cultural relics are the soul of a tourism destination, affirming the link between preserving and promoting the value of relics in tourism development.
We have long misunderstood that tourism is a way of exploiting these relics. In fact, it is a means of promoting relics so that they become a part of life. Relics are not only a spiritual foundation of education. We need to link them with economic development, which is the economic value of culture.
There have been many foreign movies filmed in Vietnam and receiving international attention. Most recently, 70% of the scenes in Con Scone Island were filmed in Vietnam in 2017, and the movie was a Hollywood blockbuster. During the recent Hanoi International Film Festival, which attracted the participation of over 50 countries and territories, organizers paid attention to promoting the movie sets as cultural relics.
It is expected that through these international film festivals, more foreign movie makers will choose Vietnam as a promising destination.
However, due to hindrances in procedures and tax preferences, cooperation between Vietnam and international movie makers have fallen short of expectations.
In other countries, such as Thailand, the Philippines, and Indonesia, and even the Republic of Korea, relics are a huge source of income for the state budget.
Stunning landscapes, unique cultures, and friendly people have become a new source of inspiration for international artists in Vietnam.
And that has wrapped up the news bulletin. Thanks for watching and see you next time.